Welcome, welcome everyone. Come on in. Might be a smaller crew tonight. I know it's Valentine's. I've had a lot of messages saying, is this going to be recorded? We went back and forth with, do we have it on Valentine's night? Do we not? But we're just going to go for it. So we're going to do our Galentine's tonight. Talk about fragrances and hormones and making perfume. It's going to be a fun night. I'm just going to wait just one more minute and then I'm going to get started because you, well, I'll just wait to let everyone know. Grab a notebook and make sure your phone is close by because you may want to take some screenshots too of some of the recipes, but I will be sending everyone the recipes that I may be sharing tonight. If you fill out the Google form, that way I can collect everyone's emails and just send everyone all the recipes for this evening. There's some good ones. Okay. All right, welcome. I see not many faces, which means y'all are really comfortable and in your cozy spaces. I love it. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. Tonight we are going to talk about fragrances because our focus this month was a fragrance-free February. And obviously we're not going to switch everything over, you know, in 1 month, but just to be aware of the things that are in your home, right? Let me just get started here. All right. So yeah, so fragrance-free February doesn't mean like you're going to swap everything out in 1 month. I mean, this has taken us, I would say a good, Gracie is almost 13. I would say a good 12 years of swapping things out because everything is so hidden, and the fragrance industry, the chemical industry is huge. And so for us to be able to swap out in 1 month is kind of ridiculous because there's so many hidden things that we can uncover as we go along in our journey. And so tonight is just one little layer of helping you uncover some things that may be lingering in your home. This whole month is just an awareness of some things that, hey, maybe I need to swap this. You know, maybe I need to swap deodorant, maybe I need to swap laundry soap, or, you know, I'm just thinking even, okay, we're going to talk about it, like Valentine's Day, like your lubricants, your personal lubricants in the bedroom. And we'll talk about some fun ways that you can do that throughout the evening. So welcome, welcome, ready to make a change. So our body is in constant contact with so many toxins, and I can't say chemicals because everything's a chemical. And so, one second, my kids have the TV really loud. Let me tell them to like lower it down because I can hear them. I can hear them. Okay, sorry about that. I think they don't realize like how much the TV can just, yes, come into another room. So that's how it turned out. Okay, so where was I? So chemicals, everything's a chemical. In our world, everything is a chemical. And so some things are some things are good and some things are bad, but let's talk about toxins, our toxic overload from man-made chemicals and the burden of that. And so in let's just say the United States, every region of the world, in every country has their own limits of what is deemed safe. And here in the United States, you know, what we deem safe is really low, I guess you could say, because they say, oh, this little bit is going to be okay. But when you look at the body burden of how many chemicals we're putting onto our skin, we're breathing in, we're ingesting on a daily basis, that's compounding effects. And so we really have to take into consideration all the things that we're using, all the things that we're cleaning with, applying to our skin, and ingesting too. And I'm talking food, you know, if you're not eating organic. And do we eat organic all the time? No, not necessarily. We try to do the best that we can. And so that's what I want you to think. Do the best that you can. And this is an awareness for you this month, is do the best that you can. And is there one change that you can make this month? One thing that you can swap out this month, and maybe one thing next month, and one thing the next month, that is going to lead to sustainable changes over the long term. Like I said, we are 13 years into this, and we're still uncovering some things in our life that can be adding to the body burden of the chemical overload. So it's just small, sustainable changes. And if you can find two and you feel okay with that and you're not overwhelmed, that's okay. Because if you're doing this in such a fast, hurried pace, the stress of that is not healthy either. So we have to take everything just, slow and steady. So slowly ditching all the products. I think I just already covered that. Just works with your body's natural ability to make those long-lasting changes. Okay, so here are some ingredients that I want you to consider as a risk to you and your family. And I remember, oh my word, when we were making the change. So here's our story. We started with food. We started homesteading and we started raising our own food. We became aware of how food was grown and raised. And we said, let's grow our own. And so that's how our journey began, where we started just raising our own food, vegetables, meat, and we just dove right in. All the while I was cleaning with bleach. I was, cleaning my bathtub with Clorox, or the, what was it called? Comet. Anyone use Comet or have used Comet? That's what my grandma used. And so I would sprinkle it in and I would scrub it clean. And then I would clean the, toilet bowl with some kind of bleach cleaner. It was all bleach based. Then I'd be gasping for air out the window. And then I put my baby in that bathtub, right? To bathe her with all those residual chemicals. I had no clue that they were, building up over time in her body. And then I would use Johnson & Johnson's baby wash because it smelled like a baby, and that's what you were supposed to use, and the baby lotion and all that, all the things that smelled like a baby. And then Dreft, I think it was Dreft baby soap that was supposed to be really, really gentle on a baby's skin, but it was still very, it still had a fragrance to it. It was that fragrance that babies were supposed to smell like, I guess. But I was just bought into all of that. And slowly I became awake to all the things that I was cleaning with, that I was putting on my skin, on my baby's skin. And I remember having my kids in the cart as I was, I had a second baby then, and I was scanning things then. I was looking on the shelf for greener cleaners, and I would look at the labels. Okay, well, this is a green cleaner, right? And it is said to be, safer, but that's called greenwashing. And the industry knows how to do that because mostly it's women that are shopping for our household items. We are the gatekeepers to our home. And so they get us by the catchy labels, the perfect wording, the beautiful artwork on the labels, just the right way to catch our attention. Instead of actually flipping things over and looking at the ingredients. But who has time for that when we're busy moms, or maybe not even moms, but just busy women that, we're like, okay, is this safe? Is this not safe? And then there's apps that you can scan things. And since then, those apps have been bought out by big industry. And so the ratings have changed over time to bad to okay. And so that's not even true. And so where does the truth lie? And that's where we have to just go with our gut instinct and know what is good and what is not good. And what is gut instinct? Well, I think we can hone in on that, women. We have really good instinct. And that's one thing that we have, men don't have. I'm just going to say it. We have that sixth sense, we have that gut instinct, and that's how we were created. And so we have to go with that. If you can't pronounce it, if you don't know what it is, then I would say do some research. And that's what it takes, us digging deep and doing some research. So here are a list, and this is all going to be emailed to you at the end when I send you the link. But formaldehyde, obviously, phthalates, VOCs, sodium lauryl sulfate. That sodium lauryl sulfate is in everything. And sodium lauryl sulfate is another derivative. Sodium lauryl sulfate actually derives from coconuts. And so that's how they can get away with that on natural cleaners and natural things that sud. Sodium lauryl sulfate is what makes everything sud. And so when you see that in even natural toothpaste and natural laundry soaps and dish soaps, face washes, if it's on there, and even the sodium lauryl sulfate, which is more of a natural derivative, it comes from coconuts. And so it comes from something that's natural. And if it comes from something that's natural, even though it's been adulterated and changed, they can still say that it is a natural ingredient. No matter how many changes they make throughout the process, and it creates this like toxic substance, it's still from a natural ingredient. So just be mindful of that. The same thing with sugars. They've changed the name of sugar so many times. There's so many names for sugar, which I'm not even going to touch on that. But the industry knows how to change names, and they know how to get around it to make us, the consumer, feel like it's safer to purchase. Ethanolamines, I can't even say it. So why would I even put it on my skin or in my, in my laundry detergent, anything? Triclosan and fragrance. All these things are either preservatives or making things work better. They're binding agents. They are, did I say preservatives? Yes, preservatives, binding agents, setting agents, and then fragrance is in a category of its own. Because if something is labeled as a natural fragrance, if it's labeled naturally fragranced, that's grandfathered into this like law that it is proprietary to that company. So it could have, even if it says naturally fragranced, it could have all of these things: formaldehyde, phthalates, triclosan, sodium lauryl sulfate, all of those things, even if it's labeled natural fragrance. So if it has a natural fragrance, natural, stay away. Sometimes labeling will say essential oil fragrance, because essential oils are like the catch slogan these days, right? So even if it says essential oil fragrance, stay away. I taught a class early on in my Young Living journey, and there was a woman in the audience that worked for Procter & Gamble. And she said, yeah, I remember taking a tour of the facility, and there was these big vats of just like chemical stuff. And they would put a couple of real drops of lavender in and call it naturally essential oil fragranced. And I was like, what? So it could be a couple drops in of the real pure essential oils, and then the rest is chemicals. So that's where we have to really be mindful as a consumer and know what we're purchasing and bringing into our homes. So why choose Young Living? Because they are the gold standard in pure, authentic essential oils, therapeutic grade essential oils. And they have over 600 products to equip us with everything that we need to feel empowered on our journey to natural living. We have something called the seed to seal quality. And so all of our oils are distilled on the farm. They are tested in-house, and then they are sent to our laboratory right in Salt Lake, right outside of Salt Lake City. We have a laboratory out there that does GC testing to make sure that the compounds are there, that the purity is there. So all of the purity is tested on site, then they're tested again, multiple times throughout the process. And so everything that we have has our essential oils, pure therapeutic grade essential oils, weaved in to the lotions, the beauty care products, the shampoo, the face lotions. And so all the ingredients are clean and pure. And so for us, let me just go back. I remember just standing at Target and just scanning things, looking at ingredients. I joined other companies before Young Living. And I was like, well, why does it still smell like a fragrance? I still smell this like really strong fragrance that doesn't jive with me. And then I found Young Living and I was like, whoa, they have Thieves. They have a Thieves household cleaner, one-stop shop, one cleaner. Like the companies I was joining, they had like window cleaner and floor cleaner and toilet bowl cleaner, and it was all naturally derived. But I'm like, I just want one thing that's going to clean everything. So we have the Thieves cleaner, right? Cleans everything. Like my husband even can't say enough about it. And then the oils on top of it, and then so many other things, which we're going to talk about tonight. So when you're using oils, you're not only going to smell amazing, you're going to get rid of those synthetic, artificial fragrances. So when I say fragrance-free February, I'm talking about synthetic fragrances. So we're going to focus on fragrances because remember, fragrances could still have all those toxic ingredients in. They could have up to 500 toxic ingredients in, but because they are proprietary to a company, even though it's a green cleaning company, or a green beauty care company, they could still have all those toxic chemicals in because it's proprietary to that company. So we're going to go with Young Living's seed to seal quality, and we're going to talk about ditching and switching your perfume tonight. Okay, how many of you made perfume? You can put it in the comments if you've made perfume. Is there a scent that you love, or a scent that you love to put in your perfume? I have made some perfumes, but I personally love just opening a bottle of oil. I'm going to pull out the leaf and putting that on. Like I just use the oils as perfume. Okay, but if you want to have a little fun, I know my girls love to make perfume rollers and perfume sprays. It can be fun. So let's talk about that for Valentine's Day. So perfumes and body sprays. When I was a young girl, I loved Bath and Body Works. I grew up on Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret lotions and body sprays, and then I had all the perfumes. It was like a chemical bomb went off in my room. Literally, like I would walk out and it was like you think like is it Linus in the Peanuts? And he always has this like cloud around him. Like that was me as a teenage girl, even into my 20s. Like I remember like Brooke picking me up in his truck and we were dating, and I would be like this cloud around me of like perfume and like smell good things. And even into our first couple of years of marriage, I'm like, how in the world did I get pregnant with all these? Like I ate like crappy food. I doused myself in chemicals. But thank the Lord that like I was able to have babies. But our second pregnancy, I had a really hard time getting pregnant. Um, and and I think about that and I think about my girls and I'm like, I want to rewrite their story. And going back, um, yes, I may have gotten pregnant, but I had horrible, horrible periods, like the worst cramping. I now know what childbirth is like. I can relate that. Like it was 16 calling my mom in the middle of the night, like crying because it hurt so bad. Felt like I was going to pass out or vomit. And so I'm rewriting that for my girls because I look back and I look at the story. I look at the story of what our society wrote that we have to have all these smell good things and we have to shop at, these places to smell good. Like, I don't know. Why do we have to smell good? What? Who says we have to smell good? I want to smell good with oils, right? Anyone else? So yes, all these perfumes, body sprays, lotions, which we'll talk about later, have hormone disrupting phthalates and fragrances and chemicals that will lead to either complications in the present, whether it's like harmful, like harsh periods, even skin irritations like acne, skin rashes. I was having the worst skin rashes and dry skin as a teenage girl. My mom took me to a dermatologist, and that dermatologist was wise beyond his years. And he said he knew what I was using. My mom told him like I was using Bath and Body Works lotions, and he said, get rid of it. That stuff is poison. So he was an old school dermatologist. And did my mom make me get rid of it? No. Was I going to? No. But as I changed things later in my marriage, and as I became aware of the things that I was using in my home and using in my personal care products, when I switched my hand soaps to Young Living's hand soaps, like my homemade stuff, my hands don't crack and bleed anymore. Like I don't have any issues with, my skin cracking and bleeding anymore. And that was a problem I had for the longest time. So just switching out your products is going to give your body relief. Okay. So just start somewhere. And maybe it's perfumes and body sprays. So why switch to Young Living oils? Well, it's going to enhance your physical wellness. It's going to help you vibe higher. It's like, even if you just use an oil, you don't have to make a perfume. Even if you just use an oil as a fragrance, as a perfume, it's going to resonate with your body. It's going to stimulate your olfactory receptors and help your brain, your limbic system with emotions and memories and mood. You're not going to have, crazy emotions. It's actually going to help your emotions. Okay. So here's the basics for creating either a fragrance spray or a roll-on. If you want to create a spray or a perfume, the base is always going to be vodka or witch hazel. I prefer vodka because it really does not have a scent. Witch hazel still has a scent. This helps distribute the oils evenly throughout the bottle. And when you make a perfume, you actually have to let it sit for a couple weeks. And you have to move it up and down, shake it a little bit. And the longer you let it sit, it's like a bottle of wine. It's like a bottle of good wine that as it ages, it gets stronger and it becomes, the notes begin to blend together even better. So you can't be hasty with it. For a roll-on, use an unscented carrier oil like jojoba or almond, or even fractionated coconut oil. I love fractionated coconut oil, but everyone has their preference to a carrier oil. Even Young Living's B6 is really nice too. That's unscented. So either way, you can make a spritz if you like more of a body spritz, if you're used to that. Or if you like more of a roll-on, you can keep that in your purse. Like I think of like 1950s old school women that would just like have their little roll-ons and they put it on their like behind their ears and on their, on their wrists. So either way is fine. It's gonna last. It's gonna linger. If you do these things, you have to have a top note, a middle note, and a base note. And I heard a chemist talk about the top note as being your like your teenage girls. When you get a room of teenage girls for like a sleepover, it's like, right? So you open a bottle of like, let's say any citrus oil is more of a top note because it opens up and it disperses through the air really quickly. And it's the first thing you smell, but it disperses and it's gone. And that's kind of like the teenage girls and like, having a sleepover. They're like, they're all like freaking out, right? That's like the top note. The middle note is a little bit more even keeled. It's still, it still gets out there in the air and it dissipates real quick. But it lingers a little bit longer than the top note. And then your base notes are kind of like your sumo wrestlers. Those are called sesquiterpenes. And those are the things that really do some amazing work on the cellular level, because they can get past the blood-brain barrier and they can get into cellular areas that other oils can't. So these are your really heavy oils. Think the thick oils, like right here, base oils, patchouli, Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, vetiver, myrrh, davana, frankincense. Frankincense comes out of the bottle pretty quick, but all these other ones, patchouli, Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, vetiver, myrrh, davana, those, you're sitting there for a real long time. Here's my Royal Hawaiian sandalwood. I love that oil for all the emotions. And you can be sitting there for the longest time waiting for it to just drop, right? Well, think about that. When you put that on your skin, those oils last and you're going to smell them for a very long time throughout the day. And so when you add that base note to your perfume, it's the oil that you're going to smell throughout the day. So your base notes should be something that you absolutely love. Royal Hawaiian sandalwood is something I like crave. I love that oil. It's something that I like to add to my perfumes because I want to smell that throughout the day. So here's some ideas for your top, middle, middle to top, middle to base. I mean, there's a lot here, but I would say do a top, middle, and a base. They give you a lot of options here, which you'll get this emailed to you tonight or tomorrow. But these are options for your top, middle, and base oils to play around with. See what you like and go with what you love and experiment. And what I suggest is if you're making a perfume, start with maybe a roller bottle first and do a little 3 ml like that. They're like these little tiny, they almost look like samples, but they're teeny tiny. And when I was starting out with oils and I was making roller bottles, I started with 5 ml roller bottles because I just wanted to know what I liked. And I didn't want to waste a whole lot of oil on a 10 ml roller. So same thing with perfumes. Start with, a little tiny 3 ml and see if it's something that you actually like. And then you can make it into a spritz or a big 10 ml roller. Or make a bunch of little roller bottles. I'll have fun with it. Okay, just one thing to like word of caution, photosensitivity. So obviously, like all the citrus oils, if you're making a perfume, I mean, we are coming into, can you even believe it? Like spring is around the corner and we're going to be outside. So think about the oils that you use on your skin and going out into the sunshine. So any of the citrus oils and any blends that have citrus oils in them, these are just a few. So read the bottle of your blends and make sure there's no citrus oils in them. And if there are, then just put those things where the sun don't shine, right? Just maybe behind your ears a little bit or behind your neck if your hair is down is okay, or on your wrist. But one oil to point out, bergamot. We don't think about that as a citrus oil, but it is a citrus oil. So please make note of that. I've had some people that have gotten burnt very bad because they didn't realize it was a citrus oil. Okay, here are some ideas. And again, these recipes will be sent to you, but if you want to take screenshots, you may. This one is called Kiss in the Dark, and it's either a roller or a spritz, and it's cedarwood, vetiver, patchouli, and black pepper. If you want to make a spritz, it's just double the oils and then using vodka or witch hazel as a base to blend everything in your distilled water. Bohemian Wildflower is patchouli, bergamot, myrrh, and soy. The Wildwood Roller, Idaho Blue Spruce, Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood, and Cypress. That one sounds really good. I want to know which one sounds good to you. I'm going to go back up real quick. Make note, which one do you think you're going to make, and put it in the comments. I want to hear what you guys make, and even put it in our group. Like, which one did you make? Because these all sound really good, and a lot of them have patchouli in them, as you can see. Patchouli is in a lot of perfumes. I know a lot of people are like, "Ooh, patchouli," but when it's really diluted and it's in a perfume, you don't notice it because it is that base note, because it's really thick. And then the Citrus Sunrise. So again, obviously not one you want to make. I mean, you can make it in the summertime. You can use it in the summertime. Just maybe if you're going to make a spritz, just spritz it on, around you or in your hair. I mean, your hair is like the greatest diffuser ever, because you can just put it in and then just, work it throughout your hair. I love using my hair as my diffuser. How many of you guys use your hair as your diffuser? Yes, Angela. Because then you can smell it throughout the day as your hair moves. Like it smells so good. And then the Freshman Roller. Here's for our, I think this one's more for our teenagers, our boys, even our girls, for those teens and tweens. But hey, maybe you like it too. You don't have to put an age to it. But that's vetiver, lemon, and fennel. Who would think fennel? But I'm curious what this one smells like. Anyone want to try this? Let us know in our group. Okay, there's one more. Nope, maybe not. Okay, so let's talk about fragranced lotions. Obviously, lotion, hand lotion, body lotion. But you know what? When we are nourished from within, and we're drinking a lot of water and food that has water. So I think Sarah Paul talked about this a couple weeks ago. Hydration. Hydration doesn't come just from drinking water. It comes from drinking fluids that also have fiber and all the things that are intact, and eating vegetables and fruit, like getting it all intact. So that's why Ningxia Red is really, really important, because when you can add Ningxia to your water, you're also getting the nutrients that's going to drive into your cells. So it's driving the hydration into your cells. So making sure you're nourished and you're hydrated inside is also going to play on your hydration of your skin. Your skin is your biggest check engine light for the health of your internal body. So if you are having cracked, dry hands, if you are having any acne-prone skin, dark circles under your eyes, even, I would say even like wrinkles and premature wrinkles. Think about what's going on internally, and what do you need to change internally, right? Because if things are going well internally, most likely you don't have to hydrate with lotion all the time, okay? Because I think lotions are more of a Band-Aid for what's happening internally. But let's just say winter skin. I mean, come on. Winter skin. When you look at your legs and you're like, ugh. It's nice to have some hydration on your skin, in the winter time. So any of Young Living's any of Young Living's lotions are awesome, but I will also say their massage oils are incredible for nourishing the skin as well. So ditching fragrance lotions. Obviously, they have all those chemicals that I pointed out at the beginning, and those build up in the body because what you put on your skin absorbs right into your bloodstream within 26 seconds, and then into every single cell within, I think it's 20 minutes, every single cell. And so we want to be really mindful of that, because guess what? It goes right to the liver, and your liver is going to be so bogged down. And guess what else your liver does? Your liver has 500 functions. And one of those functions is to create cholesterol. And cholesterol is the precursor to all your hormones. And so we want to make sure that our liver is really clean so that we can create the best hormones in our body. Okay. Not to mention, all of these fragrances and synthetics are called xenoestrogens. So for our men, this plays into effect too. So our young boys and our men can be acquiring estrogen from these synthetic fragrances that are in all store brand things and even so-called green products. And so we want to be mindful of that as well, because our men don't need estrogen, right? We don't need any extra estrogen. Xenoestrogens are man-made chemicals that act like estrogen, and they bog up the receptor sites in our body that estrogen naturally attaches to, have optimal, female hormone production. And so when we have these big, heavy xenoestrogens coming in, our body gets burdened and we have an estrogen dominance. Okay. And that's where we see more of like the cystic acne. We could have heavy bleeding, heavy cramping, heavy periods, and then going into menopause. That could be a whole other issue where you see down the road. Maybe you don't have issues now, but when you get into menopause, everything is what's the word? I can't think of it right now. Is exacerbated. It's just worse. So you're going to see it sometime in your life. And we'll talk about menopause next week in our call. But ditching those fragrances, those fragrance lotions for Young Living lotions, or even the massage oils, which I didn't put in here, but we have some amazing massage oils, and which I talked about at the beginning, ditching your lubes. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, Sensation massage oil you can use for a natural lube in the bedroom. Incredible. Relaxation is really good. It has a little hint of peppermint, so gives a little tingle. Love the relaxation massage oil. And you can take that to your massage therapist too. And you can say, hey, can you use this on me instead of, your massage oils. The other one in the bedroom, I mean, any of them, if you want a little kick, I mean, some of the Ortho Ease, Ortho Sport, that has more of the wintergreen menthol. But any of those really you can replace your lubes with too. So, and think about that. I mean, what you're using down there, your mucous membranes are absorbing so much. So your mucous membranes in your nose, in your mouth, and then in your lady parts down there, you're absorbing a lot of chemicals at a rapid rate. So just be mindful of what you're using in the bedroom too. All right, so let's talk about some things that you can make. So some more recipes you'll get, but some face wash. You can make your own face wash. I mean, Young Living has some amazing face washes, but you can make them. You can make face wash too, really easy with some Young Living essential oils, some unscented Castile soap, and some sweet almond oil or coconut or jojoba or coconut oil, and have a really great face wash. Combine all of these into a foaming hand soap dispenser and you got a great face wash. You can even add some tea tree to that. If you have some more acne prone skin, some tea tree would be good to this too. And then some like a toner, if you want to do a toner, frankincense, tea tree, cypress, and geranium are great. I've done frankincense, tea tree, lavender, and copaiba. So think about all the oils that are really good for skin. I know patchouli is really good for your skin too, if you like that, you know, if you like the scent of patchouli. And now what's this one? I have some blocking. There we go, a mud mask. My girls and I love to do mud masks. Now for this, it calls for Dead Sea mud. Well, where do you get that? I usually use bentonite clay. You can pick that up at the health food store, and you can just mix it up with some water and then some of these oils. You can even just do lavender if you want to, or lavender and tea tree. We have done lavender. You can do ylang ylang if you want. Manuka is good for the skin. I don't know. You guys put some oils that you like to use in mud masks. What have you used in mud masks before? Rose, if you have rose. And blue cypress. Blue cypress is really good for the skin as well. Okay, and this eye serum, I want to try this. This is new to me. And I was like, ooh, eye serum. I don't know. Have you all tried an eye serum before? I don't know, but these are really heavy oils. So almond oil and argan oil are more like dense oils, and they stick. So blue tansy, sacred sandalwood, geranium, and frankincense, and then lemon. And if you're going to do lemon, make sure it's at nighttime because of the photosensitivity. You can always opt out of the lemon if you don't want to use that, but lemon is really good for the lymphatic system and to move things out of the body. So it's going to help with inflammation. So that's what the lemon is going to do. So if you have more puffy eyes, the lemon is going to help with that puffiness. It's going to move all that fluid out of that area. Okay, and some other areas to ditch and switch, which we're going to talk about real quick, because I don't think people know that Young Living has makeup. Everyone goes elsewhere for their makeup. And I'm like, no, I almost went to another company when I was looking for makeup. And then the convention that we went to, 2017, they released this. I was like, oh my word, my like dreams came true. Like Young Living has now become a one-stop shop for everything. And that's a good thing because I don't want to be shopping all over the place. I just want to get one box of like all my things that I need, including the cereal that we use, the protein powder. They have pasta, they have protein bar, like the bars, like all the things. Now they have makeup. They've had makeup for quite a while, and I love, love, love their makeup because makeup is unregulated, completely unregulated. I mean, there's a few stipulations, but the European nation has a lot more stipulations on their makeup and their chemicals in their makeup than we do. But they could have so many carcinogens, formaldehyde, lead, crazy things in the makeup, just to help preserve, bind, to make that color pop. And so with Young Living makeup, you might not see really bold, dark colors. And that's because we don't have the lead in the makeup. Because when you see those bold colors, that means there's some crazy things going on in that makeup. And so we have more of just the earthy tones in our makeup because, you know what, it's just to enhance our beauty. It's not to make us look, well, I'm not even going to go there. It's just to enhance our beauty. Okay. And so making sure that we have the best ingredients. We ban 2,500 harmful ingredients. We're infused with essential oils. I don't use a whole lot of makeup. I use their blush, their mascara, the lengthening mascara right here. The blush, it's called I Do Believe You're Blushing mascara. It's a neutral blush, and lip gloss. And that's really all I use. And a few little eyeshadows too that I have, but not a whole lot. And I absolutely love their makeup. ditching your toothpaste, because like I said, your mucous membranes, mouth, nose, eyes, ears, all your orifices, okay, and even your lady parts down below, all of those orifices absorb chemicals at rapid rate, or anything you put on it, it absorbs it at rapid rate. Think about when you get, if you've ever had to get medicine sublingually in your body fast, they put it under your tongue. If you have to bring down a fever in a young child, you use a suppository, right? It gets in your system fast. Well, what are you doing when you're putting toothpaste in your mouth? You want to make sure you're using the cleanest toothpaste, okay? And so Young Living toothpaste is the cleanest. It's all infused with Young Living essential oils and the cleanest products. And so we love their whitening toothpaste. That's what we use. But they do have a kids toothpaste too. My girls just like the regular. So these are the reasons why to ditch triclosan. Obviously leading to allergies, hormone issues, all the things we've talked about, even cancer. They can have artificial dyes, and they could disrupt the immune system. All these things also lead to inflammation in the body. Why inflammation? Because when your body is trying to get rid of something that doesn't belong, your body's on high alert. And so inflammation leads to a lot of dis-ease in the body. So we want to keep inflammation down no matter what, right? Okay. No fluoride in the toothpaste. Yeah, none of that junk. I don't even have to tell you, just no junk. Okay, so you can create a whole wellness box with Young Living. Super simple. So many companies have wellness boxes right now. I mean, think of the companies that you can just get a box created and dropped at your door. But Young Living is one company that I believe in, that I can get all my things shipped to me with the purest therapeutic grade oils and ingredients. And it's called Subscribe to Save. So you put all your, it's just like Amazon Prime, the Subscribe to Save that they have. And you can get it delivered monthly, bi-monthly, or even every 3 months. We choose to do every month because we use laundry soap, toothpaste, supplements, oils, makeup, shampoo, lotions, all the stuff. And so we get it shipped every month, and you get 24% off of your subscription. And you also get points back when you are on Subscribe to Save. So you have over 600 products to choose from. So when you connect and learn, we have, obviously, you guys are like all part of our community. Tons of crossline in here as well. And, Young Living is amazing. There are so many ways to just get information and recipes. We have a community, tons of community, multiple ways to connect and get recipes and ideas, and have friendship through Young Living. So here are some ways to connect and learn, all through Young Living, youngliving.com. We have their blog, they're on Facebook, and then also on our community, the Well Folk Revival community, we're on Facebook. And then if you are Crossline, I'm on Instagram, and I share a bunch of things on there as well. So you can join, any which way to connect and learn. But you're not alone. When you get your oils and all your wellness products here, there, everywhere, it could feel scattered, right? And so when you're connected to one location and one community, you feel a little bit more, or I can't even say a little bit more, a lot more connected and in tune. You have the education. And on these Monday night calls, we're not always about oils. Sarah talked about EMF last week. Next week, we're going to talk about menopause. Like it's so intricately woven together, and there are so many health topics that we talk about, and it's not just oils. It weaves in oils and how oils can help you on a daily basis, but it's so much more than that. It's just, this is your journey. This is where you're starting. And maybe this is not even where you're starting. Maybe this is where you're picking up. And it's just really important to be involved in the community. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here. I'm going to stop this, and just If you have questions, let me know. If you have commented, I want to see what you guys are at. Okay. So if you have questions, you can put them in now. And I'm also going to put the link to complete. Here's the Google form. Fill this out and I'll send you all those recipes that I shared tonight. Okay, some of you have made body spray. Angela, you use longevity. That's awesome. I love it. That's a good one. If y'all don't have longevity, y'all need that one in your arsenal. It's intense. Like, it is the best oil for EMF protection, high antioxidant oils. I use it for good cell health, and I make like a booby serum out of it. I just put it in with some iodine and some coconut oil and rub it on my chest. And then you smell good too. So good one. Valor is your perfume. That's awesome. Yes, cologne for your hubby too. Like I said, these things affect our men too. I know we're talking Galentine tonight. We're talking about women, but these things affect our men as well. They don't need any extra estrogen. Yes, Denise, the pill. I was on the pill because they told me that's just what you have to use, right, to help your bad periods. And I was like 16, I'm like not even having sex. I'm like, why do I have to be on the pill? And it made things worse. So yes, that's a whole nother conversation. Okay, so y'all are gonna try the Bohemian Wildflower, Kiss in the Dark, Wildwood or Citrus. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, Denise. So many men have man boobs now. Yes. Oh my word. And that's the extra estrogen. So that's really important. The extra estrogen also comes from the food and the high carb diets that our men are consuming. And so when you pair all the estrogenic products that our men and boys are using, and then all the bad food choices, all those high carb things, that is just a recipe for disaster in our bodies. And so start somewhere. Either start with the, products, or like, body care products, or start with the food. You can't start with both because then you're going to be like going crazy. So one thing. So this February, start with one thing. Okay, so many good things. So many good things. You guys are going to try this eye serum. Some of you are going to try some different perfumes. I can't wait to hear from you guys. So post it in our group. Post pictures in our Facebook group. And let us know what you think about the perfume or the things that you're swapping. I'm going to say good night to y'all. Next week, we're going to be talking about menopause. And I may be like connecting with some of you to be some guest speakers next week and giving some testimonies on some things that have helped you through those menopause years. And if you have a testimony, please message me, and I would love to hear from you on a Monday night call or next Monday night, because I'm not there, but I know a lot of women that have gone through it and have used oils to help relieve some of those crazy symptoms that you go through. So you guys have an amazing rest of your Valentine's evening. Have a great night. Good night.